Today we're talking about how to build a high converting win-back flow. Most e-commerce brands are still constantly chasing new customers while completely ignoring the gold mine sitting in their email list. But here's what top brands know: the most cost-effective way to generate revenue is from the customers you've already paid to acquire. That's why a high converting win-back flow is a must-have. So in this video, I will show you exactly how to build a win-back flow that turns one-time buyers into repeat customers on autopilot. By the end, you have a step-by-step blueprint to re-engage your lapsed customers. So let's get into it. As for me, I'm Mike. Here you can find more info about me and my contact details if you want to get in touch. And I've also included the exact document we'll cover in the video down in the description. So feel free to grab it, use it, tweak it. It's basically all yours. Alright, and here is a quick look of what we'll cover in this video. First, we'll break down what a win-back flow actually is and why it's so important. After that, we'll look at the main reasons customers don't come back after their first purchase. Next, I'll give you a full flow outline email by email, and we'll go over content guidelines and subject line ideas. And finally, we'll talk about how to optimize your win-back flow and the most important A/B tests to run. So let's get into it. And what exactly is a win-back flow? So a win-back flow is an automated email sequence sent to customers who haven't purchased in a while. Its purpose is to re-engage those lapsed buyers, remind them of the brand, and encourage them to come back and make another purchase. Now, first, why is it important? So the win-back flow is important for a couple of reasons, and now I'm going to walk you through two of the most important ones. So first, acquisition costs keep rising. So acquiring new customers is getting more expensive every year. Ad costs are climbing, margins are shrinking, and scaling purely through acquisition is becoming harder and harder. So that's why the win-back flow is so important. It's basically a cost-effective way to generate revenue from customers you've already paid to acquire. So instead of overspending on ads, you re-engage past buyers and bring them back at a fraction of the cost. Now, second, it's the reduced churn rate. Every business faces churn. Not every customer will stick around forever, but a high churn rate means constant lost revenue and wasted acquisition spend. So the win-back flow helps reduce churn by re-engaging these lapsed customers, reminding them of your brand and encouraging them to return. So this directly increases the customer lifetime value, which is where long-term profitability really comes from. So in short, the win-back flow is important because it helps you generate more revenue from customers you've already paid to acquire, which means you can rely less on ads, and it will help you reduce the churn and increase the lifetime value of your customers. Now, why do customers don't come back? So before we dive into the structure of the win-back flow and the emails it includes, it's important to first understand why customers lapse and don't return to make another purchase. Now, if we don't know what's causing churn, we can address it in our emails. So by understanding the main reasons people drop off, whether it's price, product experience, or simply forgetting about the brand, we can shape our messaging to overcome those hurdles and encourage another purchase. So here are some of the main reasons customers don't always come back after another purchase. First, the product might not have worked the way they expected, so maybe the results didn't match the promise, so they moved on. Second, price can be a big factor. Either they feel it's too high or they find a cheaper competitor. Third, sometimes people are just cutting costs. If your product feels non-essential, it's one of the first things they'll drop. Fourth, they might have had a negative experience. Maybe shipping took too long or customer service didn't meet their expectations. And another reason is habit. So if the product never became part of their routine, it just gets forgotten. Sometimes it's simply a one-time need, like a gift or a special occasion. Finally, distraction. So the market is crowded, competitors are everywhere, and it's easy for people to forget about you and try something new. So these are some of the main factors. Understanding them is key, because once you know why customers don't come back, you can address these exact issues in your win-back flow and give them a reason to return. So that's it. Now I'm going to show you the structure of the flow. So we'll go in depth on each email, but first let's take a quick look at the overall structure. So email 1 is basically we miss you email. So it includes a friendly we miss you message. So quick reintroduction to the brand, a showcase of bestsellers or new arrivals, and a reminder of what makes you better than the competition. So we usually avoid sending a discount straight away in the first email. Now, as a rule of thumb, you want to send the first win-back email around 60 to 75 days after the last purchase, but this really depends on your product. For example, if you sell consumables with a 30-day lifespan, I usually recommend giving an extra 30 days before triggering the flow. One mistake a lot of brands make is sending win-back emails way too soon. The 60 to 75 day window is a strong starting point, but the best approach is to A/B test the timing and find the golden period that works for your customers. So email 2 is your best offer. Send this email 2 days after email 1. This email includes your strongest limited time offer, highlights best-selling categories, and a short testimonial for trust. So email 3 is incentive reminder. Send 1 day after email 2. This includes a reminder about the offer, urgency that it's about to expire, showcase of bestsellers, plus risk reversals like easy returns or free shipping. Now email 4 is last chance plus check-in. So send this 1 day after email 3, and it includes a personal plain text style message, ideally from the founder, offering help or support, and a final reminder about the incentive. Now email 5, this is the feedback and survey. So send this 2 days after email 4. The email is super important, and its goal is to send customers to a quick survey so we can understand why they don't return for another purchase. Alright, now let's dive into each of these emails with examples and more details. Okay, so email 1 is the we miss you. Now the goal of this first email is really just about reconnecting. So you're reminding past customers who you are, rebuilding their trust, and getting them interested again. So this is all with the goal of nudging them back for another purchase. Now in terms of content, the first email is the classic we miss you message. So nothing pushy, just a friendly note that says, hey, it's been a while and we'd love to see you back. From there, you want to quickly reintroduce the brand, remind them what makes you unique, whether that's your mission, your values, or just the one big benefit you're known for. Then showcase a couple of your best sellers or maybe some new arrivals to spark their interest. And finally, this is a good spot to remind them why you're better than the competition. So things like social proof or even a quick side-by-side comparison. And the goal here is to rebuild the connection and get them curious about coming back. So a couple of subject line ideas that you can use are the ones from here. Now let's move on to email 2. Now this is your best offer. The goal of the second email is to bring customers back with our best limited time offer. So by making it clear, this is the strongest deal we can give. We remove the price objection and we give them a reason to make another purchase now. In terms of content, the second email is all about the offer, and this is where you put your best deal forward. So make it really clear and really bold. Now here's the important part. This email should include your best possible offer, because the goal here isn't just to get another quick sale, it's to turn those one-time buyers into second-time buyers. And once someone makes that second purchase, the chances of them coming back again and again go way up. So this is the moment to make it really easy for them to say yes. So from there, highlight a couple of your best-selling categories to guide them towards what people already love most. To build trust, throw in a quick testimonial or piece of social proof, so nothing too long, just enough to reassure them that they're making the right decision. And of course, finish strong with a clear call to action and add a sense of urgency so they feel like they should grab it now. In terms of subject line ideas, you can use these ones over here. Now email 3, this is the incentive reminder. The goal of the third email is to remind customers that their special offer is still available but won't last forever. And it's about creating urgency and nudging them to act now while the incentive is still on the table. Now in terms of content, the third email is really just a reminder about the offer. At this point, you're not introducing anything new, you're simply reminding them about the offer that's already on the table. So the key here is urgency. You want to make it clear that the incentive is about to expire, so if they're on the fence, now's the time to act. So you can also highlight a couple of your best-selling categories again, just to give them that extra nudge towards what's most popular. And that is also a good place to add risk reversal. So things like a money back guarantee, easy returns, or free shipping. Basically, you're removing excuses and making it as low risk as possible for them to come back. Now, in terms of subject line ideas, you can use any ones from these over here. And let's move on to email 4. This is the last chance plus check-in. The goal here is to give a final reminder about the expiring incentive in a personal plain text style email from the founder. So the goal of this email is to give a final nudge by making it personal, offering help and reminding them the incentive is about to expire. Now, the fourth email is a plain text style email, and it's ideally written by the founder. The tone here should feel personal and genuine. So start with a warm reminder that it's been a while since their last purchase, then offer help. So ask if they have any questions or need support picking the right product. And from there, remind them the incentive is still available, but it's ending soon. And close by making it clear that this really is the last chance to grab it before it expires, because it's in plain text and from the founder. It just feels more human, less promotional, and that personal touch often makes a big difference. In terms of subject line ideas, you can use any ones from these over here. Now let's move on to email 5. So for email 5, this is the feedback email or the qualitative data. So the goal here is just to find out why first-time buyers didn't make a second purchase, so we can understand what needs to be improved. So product adoption, experience, or results, and we use that data to increase retention. Now, the fifth email is a very important one because it's where you ask for feedback. So the goal here is to understand why customers didn't come back, so you can use those insights to improve the experience and boost retention over time. Now, we will need to keep it simple, so a short message with a clear survey link or button. The survey should focus on the basics. So did they use the product? Did they finish it? Did they get the results they expected? And were there any issues with shipping or customer service? Now, this step matters a lot because it gives you real insights straight from your customers. With that feedback, you can figure out what's working, what's not, and make changes that help turn more one-time buyers into repeat customers. In terms of subject line ideas, you can use any ones from here. And that's the full flow breakdown, but it doesn't end there. Now let's talk about how to optimize your win-back flow. Below are just a few examples of high leverage A/B tests to run so that you can take your flow from good to great. So there are a few key things you can test. First is the trigger timing. So do you start the flow 60 days after the last purchase or wait 75? Next is the type of incentive. So for example, does a percentage discount work better than a $1 off discount? Or maybe free shipping or a free gift drives more conversions. You can also test the timing of the incentive itself. Should you show it right in email 1 or hold it until email 2? Then look at the delays between emails. Try a shorter cadence like 1 to 2 days apart versus a longer one like 3 to 4 days. And finally, test your production recommendations, and that's it. Now, if you're an e-commerce brand and need help building a high converting win-back flow, my team and I can set it up for you so you can maximize retention and get the most out of every customer. So you'll find the link to book a call in the description down below. However, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm always happy to help. You can also follow me on socials for more tips, insights, and practical guides. I have put the links to my socials in the document below in the description, so feel free to check it out. Thanks for watching.